So dear students, as we are meeting after a long time, we'll quickly revise what we did in the previous class or what is exactly the summary of this chapter. So the name of the chapter, my dear students, is Inside the Atom, right? And in this chapter, in the beginning, we spoke about the names of the scientists who helped us exactly present inside the atom. Can you name a few? Can you tell me who is the first scientist who helped us in understanding what is exactly present inside the atom? The first scientist we spoke about was Maharishi Kannad. Then we talk about Democritus, then John Dalton. After that, J.J. Thomson. After J.J. Thomson, the most important contribution was given by Rutherford, that is Rutherford's gold foil experiment. Followed by that, Niels Bohr, who gave us the exact position of the electrons. And after all these scientists and their discovery, we finally got a structure of the atom, which told us that, in which we say that the atom is consisting mainly of two parts. One is the nuclear part and the other one is the extra nuclear part. In the nuclear part, we have protons and neutrons, that is, which is present inside the nucleus, which are together called as nucleons. And the extra nuclear part are the electrons. All right? Do you remember all this? And the electrons are distributed in different shells. The different shells are K, L, M, and N. And with the help of the formula 2n square, we are able to decide what is the maximum capacity of these individual shells. And the maximum capacities of these shells are as follows: 2, 8, 18, 32. But even though these are the maximum capacities, we follow a rule which is called as the octet rule, which tells us that if there are 8 electrons in the last shell, the atom is supposed to be stable. Similarly, there should be 2 electrons in the first shell. With the help of the octet rule, with the help of knowing the duplet and the octet state, we come to know that the element is stable or not. All right? Is this clear to everyone? And in the duplet and the octet rule, we spoke about two terms. One is called as the valence electron and the other one is called as the valency. Talking about valence electron, my dear student, means the number of electrons which are present in the last shell. And valency means the number of electrons which is either donated, accepted, or shared to become stable. And this table I had given you to do as homework. Did you all do that? Table number 5.9 in your textbook. Yes? Were you able to do this table? Very good. It's a very simple table. Few examples are already solved for you. And you have here both the concept is given as valency and valence electron. Once again, I'll repeat myself. Valency means number of electrons which is either donated, accepted, or shared to become stable. And valence electron means number of electrons which is present in the last shell. I feel few students are not able to hear me properly. I've just checked with my internet connection. Now it's proper. I hope my voice will not lag now. Am I loud and clear to everyone sitting out there? Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. Donate, accept, and sharing means, students, it is the number of electrons. See, for example, if you see an example here only on in this serial number 2, chlorine, the electronic configuration of the element is 2, 8, 7. Now, when it is having 2 electrons in the first shell, it is already stable. Duplet ho gaya. 8 electrons is octet, right? Now, the third shell, which is having 7 electrons, it also has to become octet. And that it can become by accepting 1 electron. So, chlorine is going to accept 1 electron, because of which its valency becomes 1. Yes, Deepika, is it clear to you what is the meaning of donating, accepting, and sharing? If there are more than 4 electrons in the last shell, it is going to accept the corresponding electrons and become stable. If there are less than 4 electrons in the last shell, it will donate the same number of electrons and become stable. And if there are 4 electrons, exact 4, like in case of carbon, whose atomic number is 6, electronic configuration becomes 2, 4. It is going to share the 4 electrons to become stable. That is the meaning of donating, accepting, and sharing to complete its duplet and octet. Now, coming to the later part of the chapter, today we want to talk about a term which is called as isotopes. As you all can see the definition, isotopes are atoms of the same element. They have same atomic number and different atomic mass number. I hope you remember these terms. What are atomic number and atomic mass number? Do you remember? When I say atomic number means it is the number of electrons or protons which is present in the atom, which is represented by the letter Z. And atomic mass number, my dear students, can you all hear me? Atomic mass number is the number of protons and neutrons that is inside the nucleus. So basically it's the mass of the nucleus and is represented by letter A. So as the definition says, they are atoms of the same element. So if I'm taking hydrogen, you remember this representation? Yes, we have done this. It's just a revision. Here I have taken hydrogen. Hydrogen symbol is H. When I've written 1H1, which means what? 1 at the top is A, that is atomic mass number. 1 at the base is atomic number. This is called as the conventional representation. Similarly, deuterium, again, hydrogen atom with atomic mass number 2 and atomic number 1. Similarly, tritium, that is atomic mass number 3 and atomic number 1. Now, if you observe this carefully, students, if you observe this carefully, they are atoms of the same element. Do I agree with the definition? They are atoms of the same element. Hydrogen also symbol H, deuterium also symbol H, and tritium also symbol H. They all belong to hydrogen atom. They have same atomic number which is written at the base, but their atomic mass number is different, which is written at the top. So they all three are called as isotopes of hydrogen. What are they called as? Isotopes of hydrogen. Let us take one more example here. Chlorine. Now this is one atom of chlorine, which is Cl, atomic mass number 35, atomic number 17. One more chlorine atom, which has atomic mass number 37 and atomic number 17. So these two are isotopes of chlorine. Taking into consideration both the atomic mass numbers and carrying out their average, we come to a final atomic mass number. Similarly, carbon, 12C6, 13C6 and 14C6. These are different isotopes of hydrogen, chlorine and carbon. And how do we define isotopes? Come on everyone, I want everyone to repeat with me. Isotopes are atoms of the same element having same atomic number and different atomic mass number. I'll exactly give you a minute's time. Quickly finish this, please. Those who have already written, there is no need to write. For those who have not written, please write this. And once you've finished writing, you can raise your hand and let me know that you've finished. Come on, while you're writing, please don't simply see the PowerPoint and write. Try to understand the definition and then write. I think majority of students have raised their hands. So I think a lot of students have finished this. So with this, we understand what are isotopes. Now let us move ahead and understand what are the uses of isotopes. Where do we use them? What is the purpose? Isotope, student, let us take one example. Uranium isotope, that is used for nuclear fission and production of energy. Some isotopes are like cobalt-60 are used in medical treatment of fatal diseases like cancer, that is cobalt-60. Iodine-131 is used in the treatment of goiter, which is the disease of the thyroid gland. Have you heard about this disease called as goiter, which is of the thyroid gland? If you all have this information, my dear students, thyroid is caused specifically, or goiter is caused specifically because of the deficiency of iodine in the body. So when there is deficiency of iodine, we are using the isotope of iodine to treat this disease called as goiter, which is usually caused in hilly areas. because there the deficiency of iodine is mostly observed. So these are the uses of isotopes. Along with that, we have many uses like radioactive isotopes are used for detection of cracks or leakages in underground pipes. Yes, you can. And radioactive isotopes are used for food preservation and from microbes. So these are few uses of radioactive isotopes which is given to you in the textbook. And apart from that, the radioactive isotope carbon-14 is used for determining the age of the archaeological objects. So there's a lot of important uses of these radioactive isotopes. Radioactive means which are unstable elements. Now all these uses you need to remember. Apart from that, you need to remember the names. You need to remember which isotope is used for what. Let us quickly read once again. So uses of isotopes are uranium isotope will be used for nuclear fission and production of energy. Cobalt-60 will be used in disease like cancer. Iodine-131 is used in the treatment of goiter. Along with that, some isotopes like sodium-24 are used for detection of cracks in the underground pipes. And some are used for food preservation from microbes, and isotope carbon-14 is used for determining the age of archaeological objects. These kind of questions are usually asked in objectives, so you need to remember the name of which element and which isotope is used for what purpose. Is it clear? Did you all understand this? Yes, my dear students, did you all understand this? Come on, who will be able to define the definition of an isotope? Who knows the definition? Let me see. Okay, Amberil knows. Very good. Who else? A lot of students are raising their hands. Advika, very good. Come on, quickly read. Elisha, I hope I have spelled your name correctly. Dhruvi, Elisha, Manvi, Ashish. Oh, wow, very good. A lot of students. I'm sorry if I missed a few names here. Okay, Nishta, very good. So I will repeat this for the students who are not able to by heart it yet now. Isotopes are atoms of the same element having same atomic number and different atomic mass number. Where we take the example of hydrogen, chlorine and carbon. All right? Okay, very good. So like we were discussing the uses of isotopes, we discussed that uranium isotope is used for nuclear fission and production of energy. Let us see how this isotope is going to help us in that. So we're going to talk about something which is called as a nuclear reactor. I want everyone to now concentrate on the screen. Simply listen to me to what I'm saying. Let us understand what is exactly the meaning of a nuclear reactor. Nuclear reactor, my dear students, is a machine that generates electricity on a large scale by using atomic energy. In the nuclear reactor, the nuclear energy in an atom is released by bringing about nuclear reactions on a nuclear fuel. So let us understand the nuclear reaction with the help of the nuclear fuel, which I'm going to use in this experiment, or which is mainly used, called as uranium-235. So uranium-235 is that nuclear element which is going to generate electricity. And this is they are going to do with the help of atomic energy. I'm sure just by looking at the statements, you might be getting a little confused. Let us try to understand with the help of a diagram. Now everyone, can you locate the uranium atom here? 235U92. Can you all see that? 235U92. Yes, you all are able to locate that, right? Now this atom, my dear students, is stable. On bombarding it with, bombardment means I'm going to put on it, I am going to apply on it, I'm going to throw on it. Bombardment with slow speed of neutrons. I'm going to bombard it with slow speed of neutrons. The nucleus of the isotope, the nucleus of this isotope, which is uranium-235, undergoes nuclear fission to form nuclei of two different elements. One is krypton and one is barium. Now, let us try to understand this with the help of a diagram again. See, पहले एक atom था 235U92. On that, I have bombarded with one neutron. Because I put one neutron, the uranium becomes 236U92. Now it becomes unstable, because of which it undergoes nuclear fission. Nuclear fission means separation. And when it separates, the atomic mass number splits into two numbers. One is 92 and the other one is 141. Or you can say the atomic number has split into 36 and 56. 36 is the atomic number which belongs to krypton and 56 is the atomic number which belongs to barium. So it undergoes nuclear fission to form two different elements which are krypton and barium. And their atomic mass numbers are 92 and 141. Now when you add these two numbers, 92 and 141, what is the answer do you get? When I add 141 and 92, what do I get? What is the answer I get? After I add 141 and 92, what is the answer do I get? Atharva, please check your answer. Yes, Himani, yes, you're correct. The answer is 233, right? The answer is 233 when I am adding 141 and 92. But the uranium isotope had 236. So where are the 3 gone? Can you see the last thing which is shown in the small dot here? 3,1NO. That means after the nuclear fission has taken place, it splits into two different elements which are krypton and barium, and 2 or 3 neutrons are also given out in the reaction. Did you all understand? From the 236, two different elements were created and 3 neutrons were again given out in the reaction, which again move into the system. Again, they cause about nuclear fission of another uranium atom, and this chain keeps on continuing. And this nuclear fission process keeps on moving. On decreasing the speed of these neutrons, bring about nuclear fission of more uranium-235 neutrons, right? Again, the system is continued. Again, it caused the breaking of uranium atom, and again the system moves ahead. This chain reaction, my dear students, has to be kept under control. In this way, the chain reaction of the nuclear fission takes place. And when this chain reaction is taking place, my dear students, a large amount of nuclear energy is released during this chain reaction. And you need to make sure that this chain reaction is kept under proper control to prevent the probable explosion. I hope you all have heard about this Chernobyl disaster. Have you heard about this Chernobyl disaster? There was a series also made on this. If not, definitely Google it and read about this theory, the Chernobyl disaster, which was caused in USSR. And that was because of the uncontrolled nuclear fission process. So this chain reaction has to be, it's very easy to read in the textbook and simply say that it caused nuclear fission, breaking, making, but they are highly dangerous reactions. So to control the chain reaction in the nuclear reactor, it is necessary to decrease the speed as well as the number of neutrons. For this purpose, my dear students, the provision is made in the nuclear reactor. What are we going to do? We have two things in the nuclear reactor. One is called as the moderator. Yes, Advika. One is called as the moderator. Moderator is made either of graphite or heavy water for reducing the speed of the neutrons. Remember, moderator is either a element graphite or heavy water. You know what's heavy water? Heavy water is nothing but this deuterium. I have taught you today deuterium, right? 2H1. Heavy water is also called as deuterium, which is used as a moderator for reducing the speed of the neutrons. And then there is something which is called as controller. The controller is used to reduce the number of neutrons. Moderator का काम क्या है? Speed को reduce करता है. I'm sorry, Ashish, you need to check on your end because I feel all others are able to hear me. Everybody is able to hear me? Yes, I'm getting the answer as yes. So please, Ashish, will you check from your end? There might be some internet issues from your side. So we were talking about moderator. Graphite is an allotrope of carbon. Graphite is nothing but carbon, my dear students. And heavy water is deuterium, which is used as a moderator for reducing the speed. Speed को reduce करना है तो moderator चाहिए, और number reduce करना है तो controller चाहिए. How is the controller going to reduce the number of neutrons? They are rods. They're basically rods of boron, cadmium, or either beryllium, and they are the controller who are going to reduce the number of neutrons. And these two things are very important. When these two things are under control, the process is moving smoothly. The heat produced in the fission process is taken out by using water as the coolant. See, इसमें से जो heat produce होगा, that heat will come out, and we are allowed the heat to pass onto the pipes which is containing water. When the pipes containing water are heated, what do you think is going to happen? When the pipes containing water are heated because of this steam, what is going to happen? Yes, come on, tell me. क्या होगा अगर मैं पाइप में जिसमें वाटर उसको हीट करेंगे तो? Yes, who's going to tell me this? Come on. No one knows this answer. वाटर को हीट करते तो क्या होता है? Yes, you're correct. Very good. Water becomes hot means water gets converted into steam. Very good, Devin. Coolant means because it has to bring down the temperature. They are working at a very high temperature. Water is the coolant. It is reducing the temperature by getting the water transformed into steam. And by the means of this steam or by the means of this heat, turbines are driven and electricity is generated. Did you understand? फिर वो that is used in the production of electricity, right? What was the main thing? Why are we studying this nuclear reactor? Because nuclear reactor is a machine that is going to generate electricity on a very large scale. It's a dangerous process, but it produces electricity on a very large scale. Turbines means engines are driven and the electricity is generated. Did you all understand? In total, students, 22 nuclear reactors in 8 places are functioning. Apsara at Baba Atomic Research Center, which is BARC in Mumbai, is the first nuclear reactor in India which went critical on 4th August 1956. I hope you all have heard about this BARC. India has the large reserves of element thorium as well. Which is the element which I used in the nuclear reactor? Come on, tell me. Which was the element did we use? Come on, I want answers. U, what does U stands for, Amber? Very good. U stands for uranium. Uranium, what was the number? Uranium 235. And now we are going to do discovery on the next element, which is thorium 232. Therefore, Indian scientists have developed a future plan for nuclear reactors based on the production of the isotope uranium 233 from thorium 232. So now research are going on to use some other alternative in place of uranium. Still studies are going on that, but we are definitely using uranium 235 as a nuclear reactor, which is producing electricity on a large scale. And this boron is the name of the element, Kevin. Boron is the name of the element. Hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron is the 5th number, atomic number. Clear? With this, I hope you all understood what is exactly the meaning of or what is exactly the process of nuclear reactor. I'll quickly revise the nuclear reactor once again. The nuclear reactor is the one which produces electricity on a large scale by using atomic energy. Here we take the nuclear fuel as uranium-235, which undergoes nuclear fission when it is bombarded with neutrons. And after it undergoes nuclear fission, it forms 2 different elements, which are krypton and barium, and more 2 to 3 neutrons are given out. These neutrons, they again combine with more uranium nuclei, and in this way, a chain reaction takes place. A chain reaction takes place, and this chain reaction is kept under control to prevent the probable explosion, which is done by either a moderator or a controller. Moderator is the one which reduces the speed of the neutrons, and controller is the one which reduces the number of electrons. And the heat produced in the fission process is taken out by the water as the coolant, and this water is then transformed into steam, with the help of which the turbines and electricity is generated. All right, with this we finish with the chapter. I hope everybody has understood this chapter well. If you have any questions, you can please ask me, or you can type in the chat box. Where I get a one question is, can I repeat the 20 elements